and welcome back to the DrakenGameWerks for yet another episode. And we have begun to sort out the front here. So you can see now it's starting to get the shape. I've connected over the front engines here. Yeah, I mean, I've still got to put a lot of detail into this area yet. That's still got to be done. And we also got a couple of walls missing at the front here. But we now have the general shape of the front here, including like a big lab window there as well. I think it's going to be going in there. And it's actually taken an awful lot longer work to get through that than I was expecting. But yeah, I mean, this is quite plain on this side, I think. But I also want to work out what I'm going to do with it, because I also want to build myself... let's see if I can get over this wall here. There we are. Thank you. I want to build myself the captain's quarters, which is going to probably have a window. So it's probably best to go at the front here, I think, somewhere. If we go inside, we'll have a look. Because one of the things we've done is we've generated a lot more space again inside. But there wasn't enough space already in here. If you've seen the previous episodes where we've been building the rest of the shell, there is loads of space inside here for us to build all the bits and pieces we want to. But if we come down to the front here where we've been building out the bow section, you see we've got quite a bit of space here. So I'm thinking I might build somewhere in here, if I can work out a good location for it. The captain's quarters. I'm thinking maybe there, because I think that's going to go and just sort of look out onto the left side front engine there, and we can have probably sort of look out over there. I think that could be quite good. Yeah, I think that might be where I put the captain's quarters, because we've got to build a fish tank, don't forget. Sonny gave us that, and there's a few new things down in Spawn Town as well that I think might be nice to include in there as well. The other thing that we have been working on since between episodes is this behemoth here. This is our blast chamber. Blast chambers? They're not blast chambers. This is our gaming tower, where we're going to have about I've got up to about 6 games or 6 entertainment ideas to be built into this tower. It's not going to remain looking like this. This is just getting the internal frameworks done for the games itself. But what I do like about this is that we have this mechanism I've designed here, that these chambers need to be reset after every time being used. So I'd have to come down here, and once players have been in here and used them, I'm going to have to come back and reset them. So players can hit this button, and it will knock the light off in here and open the door up here to say that this room is now being used. So that when I come along, I can look at it and go, oh, right, okay, that room's been taken. But whenever people come up here as well, they will know not to use that room because the light is off. And of course, we can press the button, and it's not going to do anything else there, because the reset mechanism is actually just behind it, which will be in a sort of staff-only area. So we've got all those sort of mechanisms up here. And which one is it? I'm going to need to probably label these at some point. There it is. It's that one down there. And yeah, we can just reset the mechanism here. It's a very simple mechanism as well. It's just pretty much 2 pistons and a redstone block. The button there sort of powers the one which resets the system, while the other one goes the opposite direction. Just comes up from the light and powers this one, which then powers up this, which with the redstone torch on the top here will then turn around and turn the power off on there. But it also goes over the top of the door, which then means that the door opens as well, which is it's quite a nice little functional circuit that we have at the back here for all of these chambers. I'm quite chuffed with the way these ones come out. And we got the same down on the lower bit as well, because these separate 4 down here, if you might remember from previous episodes, saying that these are going to be a separate chamber for a separate game as well. But they work exactly the same way. There's a button outside that'll turn the light off, open the door up to let us know that we're using it. And we got this big hole that we've dug in here as well, which there will be uses for all of this. So we've got the hole there where it goes all the way down to the skelly spawner. But there will be other bits and pieces as well. So I've got to get on to cracking on with designing all the rest of that. But we're getting there step by step. It's starting to come together, as is the Skycarrier. And just a short time later, and it's actually only been about a day or 2 later, and things have suddenly changed out here as I'm falling into this bit here. Look at this. The tower is now actually starting to take shape. That solid concrete block that you saw has vanished. It's not completely vanished, actually. If we go in here, I'll tell you what I've done now in a second, but if we come into here, you can see that it's actually still in here. It's inside of this tower. But this is going to be hidden away behind the facade of what is the front part of the game of the tower. This will make more sense as we get towards the end of this video. But for the time being, the idea is to make this look all nice around here. So I started putting down some grass around the outside. I'll probably put like a supporting wall going around the outside as well. And I'll probably sort of terraform all the way up to the the portal and do the portal out as well, so that's ready for anyone else who's coming into this area and building other stuff in the area. But it has our bit. Look at that! It started raining just as we're beginning. That's typical. Beginning to show this off. But yeah, I decided to go with a sort of gradient view going up with. So we started with the normal blue concrete at the bottom, going into blue wool, into blue powder, into the blue concrete powder. Then we have the light blue concrete. And then the top two layers is blue ice and normal ice, which I basically got by essentially dismantling over here a couple of glaciers that were just off the side here. We just completely dismantled it, which gave us all the ice that I needed for building the top of the tower here. And the tower has a bit of a... I went for the shape of sort of like this oval shape, sort of more modern oval sort of design, which then sort of comes around here. Then we've got the little front foyer area here, which is mostly made out of glass. This is going to be where the elevators are all going to be. Here you can see that we've got the, I've expanded the elevator that goes down to, this is the one which goes all the way down to the caverns of failure that you've seen on previous episodes. This one will probably be our elevator that will take us all the way to the top, and then there'll probably be a little passageway that takes us to the sort of mid-level ones over there. And what I've decided, I've got 6 ideas for games in this area, and what I'll probably do is not launch all the games at once. I'll build this so that we've got at least 3 of them are available on launch of the tower, and then I can work on the others because they're going to probably need a little bit more work elsewhere, and I can work on those so we can get some games going off right at the beginning, and then we can expand out to have more games at a later point. But let's get the area looking nice. I think that's the first bit of it. But yeah, I had this this concept idea where we have this tower with sort of gradient going up, starting at a dark blue, going up to a nice light blue towards the top of the tower, but then using these sort of white banding you can see going around the outside here. And what I'm going to probably do is put some extra sort of struts and supports in around the banding as well, sort of in curves and everything else like that. We'll have a few that are straight like we see in here. I'm putting them at different angles around the tower, sort of very sort of modern sort of style design, and then we'll probably have like some sort of curving, sweeping arcs on there as well. And we've started to also get these sort of areas that you saw earlier sort of done up. We've put some banners in there to mark out each of the chambers, so that's been done. I've got to do these areas out a little bit more. There's some more bits and pieces that needs to be built into these areas. There's a little bit of redstoning to go on here as well. But I thought I'd also show you how treacherous and perilous it is to actually build into this area. So we have to sort of jump around up here very precariously. This is how we're building the banding around here. It's like literally using shift and jump to sort of move that one block around the space here, and then just placing the blocks here like so all the way around. And yeah, we're right on the edge here. This is not something to do if you have vertigo. It's certainly got a bit of height on it up here as well, and it's just like literally just hopping block to block. Thankfully we've got a Elytra, so it's not too much of a problem, because we do fall off, and yeah, I do slip sometimes and fall off here. Then it's easy enough just to turn around and fly back to where we were. But yeah, it just makes it a little easier if we come in across here like so. And yeah, that's how I'm building this banding around the outside. Of course, we don't need to worry about spawn-proofing this because we are on a mushroom island, so we don't have to worry about lights or carpets on here. If I was building this anywhere but a mushroom island, then I might have wanted to put carpets on here as well, just to on the top edge, just to make sure that nothing could spawn on this. But as nothing can spawn on this now, it's not a worry. So we're just gonna build and just keep building and everything. And there, yeah, you can see we come all the way around the outside there. And if I come, let's work out where I'm going to put the next vertical strut. Every layer will have a vertical strut of some description. Somewhere around here, I think would do nicely. I don't think we've got one here, or at least we haven't for a while. Let's put it here, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we count by 10, and that's where we build off there, and we just build the next banding layer around here. But yeah, so next time you see this tower, it should be a little bit further towards completion, and this isn't the only thing that we have been working on. Oh, now I feel silly. That was me completely not paying attention. Let's get all that stuff back a second, and then I'll go and show you what I've been working on. And we come over into this district. You'll find this is where Sunny has her new shop that she's had up for a few weeks, but also Ionco is over there as well, built by Iondus. And we've started marking out bits around this area for their own stuff, like Lady Bex is building something down there. I know Sunny's got another build plan to go in here. and Lady Bex has got one planned over here, but I have come over here and built this. This is something we've just built up. This is the SPIRE Solicitors, specialists in divorce, civil defence and civil prosecutions. Yeah, it's obviously you will remember last episode that we dealt with, well, we officiated the wedding between Sunny and Mighty, and we're not saying that the wedding won't last or anything else like that, but should there be problems, then SPIRE Solicitors have got their back. You know, we're here to help people through, you know, obviously for a small legal fee, but yes, we have this bill. I'm quite happy with the way this turned out, actually. This is quite a nice little sort of modern sort of style bill for the solicitors. It's not very big, it's nice and diddy, but it does its job. I've got to do the interior, yeah, we've got the floor down, we've got the elevators through to go to the top floor here, but yeah, there's not a lot built inside of here at the moment, but it was just getting the sort of shell of this place done, and we might get the interior done by the end of the episode, we'll see. But my focus at the moment is on getting that tower done down over in the gaming district. Now, unfortunately, I have been very ill in the last week. I managed to catch the dreaded COVID. I'm okay now, I'm on the recovery side, but it has given me a lot of time to spend playing Minecraft in the last week as well. And yeah, I've put that to some good use. So this tower that I just showed you a minute ago, it's complete. It's complete. I have finished building it. We have the first 3 games all built and put into the actual district itself. We actually have, I mean, let's show you around this area. Oh, I'm being attacked. Hang on. Maybe we're going to show you straight away because I have phantoms on my tail. Wow, I didn't realise I hadn't slept in that long. Right, okay. That was quick. Right, okay, let's jump up here and quickly have some sleep a second, and then we can show you again exactly what was going on once we can get rid of the little night birdies that are trying to attack us there. So they're probably floating around here somewhere. Wow, I was not expecting that straight off the bat. Right, okay, so as you can see, we have built the area up around here, but we have... Wow. Wow, that's just a great start. Tell her not well. And it's put us right back to the beginning. I'll be back with you just a moment. Yeah, so let's try that again. I mean, totally didn't just slam into the ground at high speed and die. No. It's the first time we've come to this area, honest. Actually, it's just my luck at the moment. So today is the first day of my annual leave, which I caught that wonderful, dreaded COVID to turn around and mean that I have to remain in isolation during the beginning of my annual leave. Perfect timing. And then I went to re-record this straight after dying then, and then there was all banging coming out the front of the flat because there was a heavy goods vehicle was delivering to the restaurant opposite, which it was like, oh, so I can't record then. And just as I was then watching the lorry then, like 10 minutes later, getting ready to leave, and I was thinking, yes, I can start recording, and just as it begins to pull off, another HGV turns up to do another delivery to the restaurant. That's just my luck at the moment, and considering what I'm about to do, I'm not sure that's a good sign, but still, nonetheless, as we'll see after I've shown you this area. But let's try showing you this area now that we've actually worked on here. So we have this lovely new Nether gates that we've built here, Nether portal that we built coming into the gaming district. This whole gaming district, we've got a map here at the beginning. There's an area over here that has been cornered off for something that... Obviously, I won't tell you what's going on down there. Some of the other guys on the server are going to be building something over in that area. But we have built our section here, and you can see the section of the Mushroom Island that we have actually terraformed and built into something here. And you can see the tower in the background there. We'll talk about it properly in a second. But as you can see, we've got this area here. We've got this lovely sort of yellow brick sort of road around the area here. We have these sort of manicured trees that are around the area here. I've made these just using acacia wood. Stripped acacia wood for the trunk, and then for the actual leaves at the top there, we've used the new azalea leaves, both the flowering and the normal type, to actually build the tops of these. So it kind of made it like they're being well tended to in this area, so they also look very similar in that sort of sense, that very manicured look. And we have like these bushes around here. We've created a little pond over the back here, so it's just a little bit nice and neat down here. We've got a few flower beds obviously sitting around here as well. And this is all sort of an raised platform. We've got these roads going off, and I've got about 4 different junction points coming off here. So at the 4 north, south, east and west, we have these sort of steps going down into the rest, so that when others on the server want to go and build some games, they can build off from this sort of area here. One of the first activities we've got around the back here is this one here. This is our bouncy castle. Let's take off our light for a second. We'll show you this one in action. It's a little janky in the way it works, but if we turn on the castle itself, you can see we have a bouncy castle. Yay! So this is going to be completely free for people to use. It's just a bit of fun, just to bounce around and everything else. And every now and then you can accidentally slip through, so there's a little escape hatch underneath, but yeah, we have a bouncy castle there, so a little bit of free fun for the other guys on the server here. And then if we come around to what is obviously the main part of the build here, and it's this one here. This is probably best to fly out a little bit on this one. I'm trying to fly without my elytra on, so let's put my elytra back on. And if we come out this way, we can actually take a good look at the tower itself. This is the SPIRE Tower. So yeah, a little bit of a play on the words there with the fact that we have SPIRE itself, that we're working on the organization. But yeah, we have the SPIRE Tower there. And the design for this is sort of a combination of a couple of different things that I've seen. I sort of wanted to do something that was a bit of a gradient going up, so we used the variety of gradients we mentioned earlier. But the actual shape and design of this is actually sort of taken from, there's a tower here in my hometown of Swansea called the Meridian Tower, which is this oval shaped tower with these sloped roofs on the top and everything, and very lovely tower. I know it was at one point, I don't know if it still is, but it was at one point the tallest tower in Wales, and it sits down on the coastline of Swansea, and it's got at the top of it is restaurant. There's this lovely restaurant on the top of it, but it has there's like an air show that goes on every year here in the city that sort of goes along the beachfront, and that tower is apparently a really good spot to go and watch the air show from. You can be sitting at the top of the tower and just watching the jets blasting past. Good sort of thing, but it's got the good views down on actually Swansea Bay itself. But yeah, so I sort of based the design of this tower a little bit, sort of getting a bit of inspiration from it. It's not identical to the Meridian Tower, but it certainly has a bit of the inspiration from there. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the way this turned out. I mean, we used a bit of sort of, I've sort of put these extra curves in here to sort of create a sort of a bit more of a modern art deco sort of style look to it. And then if we come on down into here, we have this glass front to the front here. These sort of doors here with the handles like this, I kind of stole that from another member on the server and noticed Lady Bex was doing something similar to this recently, and a few others have done similar sort of stuff for creating sort of handles on glass doors. And I think it looks really, really cool. So I sort of borrowed stroke stole the look of that. And then we have our main 2 games now set up in here. We have Dare2Dig and Speedig, which are 2 different games. So this Dare2Dig is on this side. There'll be an instruction book here, and I'll talk through that in a bit later once I've loaded up the chambers. And we also have over here the Speedig, which is a second separate game over here, and its various elements. And you've got an elevator going up to the Speedig chamber. So that's those 4 chambers that we've got at the lower level, chambers 1, 2, 3, and 4 over here. And then if we go down on this way, we have an elevator over the other side, which goes all the way up the side of the tower, which if we come around to here, is the elevator up to Dare2Dig, which is the taller chambers that we built for the game here. Both games use chambers that will end up in the counter failure if you're not careful, but yeah, we have chambers A, B, C, D. Yeah, there's 10 chambers basically going all the way up to, was it J? I think it's the 10th letter of the alphabet. Yeah, there we have, so up to chamber J. And that brings us up to the very top of the tower here. This here, we have a little platform out here. This is good for like if you want to land as fly your elytra up here instead of using the elevator. But also there's going to be another game later on that I'm probably going to build that will involve jumping off the side here and trying to land on various platforms and scoring points that way, and preferably not dying in a grisly, horrible death like I just did a minute ago on it. But yeah, the idea is to do that from up here. But as well as building this at the moment, we obviously you've seen we've done a few other bits of work, but I now need to actually get the materials that are needed for the actual games inside of there, and we're going to need a variety of materials, and there's going to be all sorts of materials that are going to be needed, but some of the materials are going to have to be very, very rare materials. And one of those is diamonds, which we have been saving up both diamond blocks. We got 36 diamond blocks on us at the moment. Plus we got a bunch of diamond ore as well, which is going to be used in the game as well. And that's going to probably end up making us broke putting it into the tower, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it for the game itself. But also I want to get some ancient debris as well. I want to try and get myself about a stack of ancient debris to use in the game itself. And at the moment, I have 2 pieces. So yeah, I'm going to need to go nether mining, and I have never been netherite mining at all in my life, and I'm trying to work out whether I want to use TNT or whether I want to use the beds. I think I might use a combination. I might try TNT first and then maybe use the beds afterwards, because I got a few bits of TNT, and see if we can just blast it all away and see if we can find some ancient debris. I want to try, as I say, get about a stack of ancient debris, which is quite a lot to ask for, so we're going to have to go and do a lot of netherite mining. And just coming down here, digging out a tunnel to place the TNT, and I've already found ancient debris. Yay! That's awesome. That's good news. So the first bits of ancient debris already found, so that's 2 pieces. We're probably going to need a lot more than that as well. So we're going to dig out of this tunnel, and basically just trying to dig a big, long tunnel that will enable us. And actually, I probably should eat a little bit. My health's down a bit, because I can count a few little lava pockets down here. But we're going to fill this tunnel with TNT, blast it open, and see what happens. That should be probably good enough for the first one. Let's have a look. TNT, and I want to place TNT probably about every 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's more like every 2 blocks, but never mind. Just to basically blast this open. And we'll see how this happens now, see what happens with this one in a second. I've never been sort of netherite mining properly, so this is, we're down at Y level 15, which is apparently the best place to do it. So we'll put some TNT down, there's half a stack there, that's good. And then we're gonna just run some redstone down here, and stand back, fire in the hole. There it goes. Didn't quite go all the distance, but it got a little bit. And what we didn't find was... we did find, actually, some ancient debris. Look at this. There's more ancient debris. Awesome. So we're going to carry on doing that and see how much ancient debris we can find. And hopefully, without dying too much as well, we'll probably sort of seal up some of these lava pockets, because I'm never a fan of lava. Lava's horrible. But yeah, we'll try and sort of seal those back, and we'll see where we go from there. that took a lot more work than I anticipated. I have now, we've already seen this area, but I have now filled up all of the chambers in here. We have a stream day weekend coming up this weekend, and I wanted to make sure the game was ready, or the games were ready to go for this weekend. And so yeah, the chambers have been filled up, and that takes a lot of work and a lot of resources. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly explain how each of these games work now, ready for the stream day weekend, so that other members of the server can see how it works, and also give you ideas if you're building your own games in Minecraft as well. So yeah, let's start with this one. This is Dare2Dig, and it works as simple as this, right? So this is a 2 to 4 player game, so you can do it with 2 players, 4 players is better, do it with 3 players as well, but you know. Essentially every player places 1 diamond block. That's a full diamond block in the chest. Now that sounds like a lot, but actually the chances are that you could actually win back a lot more than that if they know what they're doing, if they play it carefully. So the 1 diamond block, I think, is a fair payment per player, especially considering the resources that can be gained in these tubes. So yeah, you get 1, everyone puts 1 diamond block in here, and then what they do is they come in here and they take 4 lots of scaffolding each, because they're going to need it potentially to dig their way out. Once they've got their scaffolding, they need to make sure their inventories are as empty as possible, except for maybe some digging tools and stuff, which I actually haven't got any digging tools on me at the moment, so all my tools are over in here. I'm not actually going to demonstrate how this works directly, but I'll talk people through it. But yeah, we have these lockers over here, so if they do need to store up any space while they're in the game, they can. We've also got the empty chest there as well that helps now. So once they've done that bit, then they all need to come up to the top of the tower. So we take this elevator all the way up, and you get an idea of how far we have to rise up just by the time it takes to get up this public elevator. There we are, we're at the top now. So there are 10 chambers up here. And what they do is they come up here and they need to select as a group 1 of these chambers they're going to use for their game. And they can only choose a chamber that has the light on, because if the light is off, it means the chamber has been used and it's waiting for me to reset it. So say they came up here and we'll just say I can reset this chamber after. So say they chose chamber A, they would then hit the button up there, it will knock the light off and open the door for them. This has now become their chamber. And you'll find in here there are 4 hatches in the corners of the room. So every player chooses a hatch to stand on, whether it's this one over here, that one over there, you know, all 4 of these, until all of them have 1 hatch each. Then they've got to make sure they're in first person mode, because yeah, third person mode won't help. And then they unlock the actual hatch here, and you'll see there's a bit of dirt here. And what they do is they start digging downwards. And yeah, so these, you've seen me build these shafts up, these tubes that go all the way down to the caverns of failure. So the idea is that these tubes have a stack of resources that are all piled on top of each other. A lot of it's tough, so it's not like an incredibly valuable resource, but they're then interspaced amongst it. There's a bunch of other resources. So there's like copper, there's lapis lazuli, there's redstone, there are diamond blocks, there are diamond ore blocks in there. There's all sorts of stuff that they can be turning around digging up. So as they dig down, the aim is to basically get to as low a Y level as possible without falling through to the caverns of failure. So each chamber here, each tube, stops at a different level, and it's at random. So it's a little bit of luck involved in here, there's a little bit of nerves involved in here, there's a little bit of bluffing involved, because as they're going down, you can see, as you probably saw when I was building it, they are glass chambers, so you can actually, though you can't see beyond the block beneath your feet, you can see several blocks below the feet of the other people that you're digging down with, so you can turn around and bluff them a little bit and say, oh yeah, that's fine, that's not the last block, when it is the last block, and then they fall through. And the aim of the game is that once you've dug up all your resources, 1 or 2 things will happen. Either you'll go down as far as you dare to go and use the scaffolding to return back up to the top of the tower here, making a note of which Y level you reached. And once you start using the scaffolding, you can't go back down to it. So once you stop, you've stopped. Or you have fallen through to the caverns of failure below because you've dug out the last block in your row and fallen through. And then everyone returns back to the foyer. So we come all the way down here. And everything they have dug up, they put into the winnings chest here. And the person who gets to the lowest Y level without falling through to the caverns of failure wins everything. It's as simple as that. So, however, if everyone falls through to the caverns of failure, which is possible, maybe because they were digging down and trying to get more resources, whatever else, and didn't realize that was the last block, then the house wins in that case, because no one managed to actually get to a point where they stopped and they all fell through to the caverns of failure, at which point then you press this button here, and this button then drains everything in these chests through to some chests I got tucked away in a staff area behind, and I get to reuse those resources to build up the game again in future. So yeah, so that's pretty much how the game operates on Dare2Dig. It's pretty straightforward, as I said. There's a little bit of luck because you don't know when those tubes are going to end, but there's also a little bit of nerves as to like, when do I stop, when do I not, and you're sort of trying to compete against each other, and there's a little bit of bluffing and a bit of sort of banter going back and forth between people as well, because obviously you want the other people to dig up as much resource as possible to make the winnings pot as big as possible, but you don't want them to reach the same Y level as you do, or to fall through to the actual caverns of failure. So yeah, that's how Dare2Dig operates. There is also one other little bit that I put in there to add additional complexity. The tubes, as well as being what they are, there is a potential between 0 and 3 drops to occur in a tube as well. So there may be no drops at all, and you hit the last block and you just fall all the way through to the caverns of failure. Or it may be that you'll hit a block and you think that you're falling, and then you'll land in a pool of water inside the tube still, and you can still carry on digging down. So that just adds that extra level of complexity as well. So there could be no drops, there could be up to 3 drops in your tube, and you don't know. So again, it's a bit of luck that's involved there to see how you go, and again, a bit of your nerves to see how far you get through on it. So yeah, that's Dare2Dig. That's Dare2Dig in a nutshell. And then the second game we've got, which uses the other 4 chambers that don't go quite as high, is Speedig. And this is basically a race. So the way this one operates is that we come over here. Again, it's 2 to 4 players. Everyone puts a single diamond. Doesn't need to be a diamond block this time, just a single diamond into the payment chest for Speedig here. And then between them as a group, they then place a bet. They work out what their pot is going to be, basically. So they could be like betting diamonds against each other. They could be betting resources. They could bet favors. They could even bet their souls if they want to. You know, as long as everyone agrees what the pot is going to be on this bet, then everyone pours it into this chest here. That's the winnings chest. So the diamond that's for here from each player is just because obviously maintenance. It's going to take me a while to rebuild each chamber, so that's my payment for keeping on doing that. But then the actual winnings is based upon the bet that they all make amongst themselves. And then once they've put their bet in there and they've all agreed a bet, they come up to here, and it's very similar. They come up to here, you've got 4 chambers over here. It works exactly the same way as it does to dig. They choose one chamber between them all. They press the button, they go in there. It's got the hatches on the ground there again. They take up a hatch each. But this time, the whole tube is filled with a variety of different types of blocks. So there's everything in there. We've got rock blocks that need various different types of tools to get through. You've got wood in there, we've got concrete in there, we've got stone in there, we've got dirt in there. You know, so what they have to do is they count down together, and then they basically race to see who could be the first one to dig out their tube and get to the caverns of failure. And the first one to get through the tube wins everything. It's as simple as that. So it's a very quick race. So it's a slightly different game to Dare2Dig, but in that one, it's all about using the right tools to dig as quickly as possible and switching between your tools quickly to be able to get through the stack of blocks there. And in that occasion, they don't get to keep the blocks because obviously their winnings is what they betted amongst themselves at the beginning here. So the winnings, so their resources they dug from that, we just asked them to put them back in the chest here, so I can use it to reset the game again in the future. So yeah, that's Speedig, and that is Dare2Dig. And then if we come around to here, we have one more game, as I've shown off a few times before. And this is Bounce. This is actually, I jumped on a friend's server a few months ago. They were having a birthday, and one of the guys in there built something similar to this. I just sort of taken the design and brought it over to here. It's a free-to-use game. It is basically just a bouncy castle. So yeah, it's just a single lever over here to turn it on. We can see that's all bouncing around, and then we can play bouncing around on the castle here. And it's just basically a little bit of fun bouncing around. And yeah, you can take a little bit of damage from time to time if you're not careful, so you just got to be a little bit careful on it. But yeah, it's just basically a bouncy castle. Yeah, free to use. I just ask people to remember to turn the castle off after they finished using it otherwise. But yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, if we fly over to here, we'll take a proper look as the sun goes down. That is SPIRE, which has been a hell of a build to do this, and I wasn't expecting to quite get it all finished this quickly, but actually having it done in time for stream weekend, which is this weekend. I will be streaming, as will be a number of other people from the server. Don't forget to check out our Twitter feeds to find out the exact times. We're going to be, I think there's about 5 or 6 of us streaming in total, and we're just going to be knocking on from one to the other. We'll have 2-hour time slots and then pass on from each other. Not quite sure what we're all doing this weekend, but I know we want to get this. I want to get this done, so this is available as part of that content for this weekend. But yeah, that is Aspire. I am Draken. This has been the DrakenGameWerks. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out the rest of the members below. We have a new member on the server someday. Go and check out his channel, and of course, check out any of the other members as well involved in here. And I'll hope to see you all guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.